All right. Hey guys, welcome to our Dream Team Zoom. I've been looking forward to this all day just to get to be with my team and talk to you guys about something that I think is so important. Um, Before I get into our topic for the night, it is Thrive Palooza week. For those of you that are going, I had to create a new event page in Facebook. The reason I made an event page in Facebook for us is so we have a central location instead of a group chat because our chats get so busy during the day. This way, as you know, people are arriving. If you want to share pictures in there, if you want to, all the things, like it can all go in that event page. Well, Facebook, I guess, has a rule after 10 days, your events go away. So I had to make a new one. So if you're not yet in the new one, I invited you today. Please accept it. Make sure you're in there. For those of you that are not coming to Thrive Palooza, gosh, uh, just be near your phones is all I can really say. Like, just be on the lookout. Obviously, we will try to record and share everything possible that we can. But also Thrive Palooza is a really big, like tons of people on their phones trying to do stuff. So sometimes it's kind of hard to get Wi-Fi and all that jazz. But just be on the lookout. Obviously there's going to be new products dropping. I hope there's like some sort of promo because I don't know about you guys, but it's been real quiet in promo land. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they have something planned for that very last day or if they're going to announce it on at Thrive Palooza and like kick off May. I have no idea, but I know that we all need to be like ready to go. So I'm excited to go. I hate that some of you can't make it, but I totally understand. And I don't know, we will stay connected through the beautiful world of the interwebs. So tonight I want to talk to you. I think I forget what I called it, something about building a dream versus chasing a paycheck or something like that. Like some things just kind of keep coming to you. Like maybe you'll read a book and then you hear a podcast and then like just stuff just keeps like laying on top of each other. And so the last 4 or 5 days, there's been something about this particular topic in everything that I have read or listened to. And then today I shared on Dream Team. It was actually, I think it was just from last night, but the Tidwells, which is the husband and wife couple that both hit 200K in March, at the end of March, they were on a Zoom and they just kind of shared their story. And so yet again, they talked about this and I was like, all right, Jesus, I get it. We're going to talk about this. So, plus I'm seeing this right now on the team and it makes me really excited. So it's about choosing happiness over choosing a paycheck, which I'm not saying that money isn't important and that making money isn't important. It is. If you have big, giant goals in your life, you're going to need to earn an income to make them. But I want to talk about the difference between chasing your goals and hustling for your goals versus hustling for a paycheck. I started listening to that on the way to work. Oh, it's good. The first part is, like their story, like just their Thrive story. And then they talk, it's funny, like you get to the halfway point and you think they're going to end it. And well, I should say, as I was watching it, I was like, oh, like they kind of seemed like they were ending it. And I was like, huh. And then I hovered over the YouTube video and I realized it was only halfway through. And then they asked, it was Courtney Glazer. They asked her if she's okay if they talk about money. And of course she's like, yes. And so the last half is probably like the best part because they just are super honest. So spoiler alert, I may tell you some stuff that you would have heard, but whatever, you're gonna hear it from me. But so anyway, you guys will see this and maybe you've lived this in your life. I know I've lived it in my life. The more money you make, the more money you spend. It's just one of those things. So back in the day when I got out of college, I worked for this design firm in Cincinnati and I made a great paycheck. Plus I was young. I didn't have, tons of bills or anything, but I had a really nice car and I had like a really nice purse and we would go on these lunches and we would go shopping at, the mall and we would buy all these nice clothes because we had this nice job, right? We had to look a certain part, right? And then when I left that job and I opened my own gift shop and I had no money coming in, I sold my purses. I didn't even carry a purse half the time. I had a Kroger bag with my lunch in it that was back and forth. And you just start to see that when you have money, you start spending money. And so there's a lot of times where you are working and working and working and you're almost driving yourself crazy because you're like, I'm going to make this bonus. I'm going to make this money. And then you you get to that point and you start living your life a little different. And then that money that you just made is not enough. And then you got to keep working and making more money. And you got to keep working and making more money. And so, and that happens to me still to this day. Like maybe I'll have like a great paycheck. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want to get my hair done, or maybe I want to go get my eyebrows done. Like, you want to treat yourself to something. And then you like it so much, you start doing it more and more and more. And then you're like, wait a minute, I started making more money, but now I'm wasting it on fingernails. And so now I'm not really making any more money. I'm just spending more money. So it's that constant hamster wheel that people get on, chasing a paycheck versus really focusing your activity and your intentions on your goals in life. I had this conversation with someone a couple days ago. If you could give up your fake nails and your fake eyelashes for 6 months so that you could actually stop working a part-time job and focus on your Lavelle, to where you could get fake nails and fake eyelashes for the rest of your life and not even have to think about it, would you do it? And of course, like, yes, I would totally do that. Like, why wouldn't I give up that for 6 months to go balls to the wall to then be able to get it for 6 years without blinking an eye? And so it's, when you think about it, it's very logical that, yes, that's what I'm going to do. That's how I want to live my life. But on a day-to-day basis, you have to put that into practice. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. When you're motivated by money, you will never have enough money. So, because it just goes back to that, I'm going to spend more. And it could even be like, there was like one time in my life where I was like, I want X amount in my savings. Well, then I got there and I was like, well, I want X amount in my savings. And I just kept wanting more and more and more and more. Like, it was just about the dollar amount. I wasn't even thinking about what the dollars could do. Could the dollars be put into a retirement fund? Could the dollars have paid off a vehicle? Like, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about the money. Like, I wanted more. I wanted to watch that number rise, which is better, I guess, than watching it fall. But again, I was chasing the money and not really focus on the happiness that I truly want in the end. So in the video that I shared today, the Tidwells, when they're talking about this, I think the thing that sticks out to me about them the most, and if you haven't watched it, I'm totally going to blow the video for you. And if you've ever heard them before, they have talked about this before, so you may know. But anyway, they originally started on a different team. And then they jumped ship and went to a different team. And they were told that the way they were doing it, I want to say they were like themselves. And then when they signed up under the new team, they were like an LLC. And so they were told at the time that it was okay, that was totally okay. You know how we always tell people you got to wait 6 months and blah, blah, blah. They were told if they did it this way, it would be no problem. So they get in, they're with this new team, AKA Courtney Glazer's team. They're learning new things that they've never learned. They're building a business. They are like, they're doing it, right? Like, I want to say they got all the way to 40K. And then they get a phone call from Lavelle. Hey, 80K. Was it 80K? Okay, they got all the way to 80K. They get a phone call from Lavelle. Hey, you did it wrong. You can't do it that way. You have to sit out for 6 months. 6 solid months. They had built a team to 80K, and for 6 months, they could not take a paycheck from that team. Now, before they hit 80K, they started quitting jobs because, of course, why wouldn't you? They were 80K. They were going to go to 200. They were going to be full-time thrivers. And now all of a sudden they had no income. In that moment, they could have chased the money. They have children. No one would have even blinked an eye if they'd be like, well, bag it. We're out. We got to go find someplace we can make money. But they didn't. They saw the bigger picture. They had a bigger goal in mind versus 6 months of pay. And they learned to live during those 6 months. And every single day, they still worked with their team. They still did Zooms. They still did 3-way calls. They still did strategy with people. They still helped their team grow. So they are literally growing the team every single day and not making a penny for 6 months because of the bigger picture. And what I'm seeing on this team right now, we have, I want to shout people out by name, but then I don't want to because I don't want to be offended if I miss anybody. But we have several people on the team right now who did not wait around for Lavelle to drop a promo. These promoters were like, hey, here's what I want to do. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need you to give your commission back. I'm going to give my commission back, blah, blah, blah. This is what I want to do because I want to hit this goal or that goal or whatever. And as uplines, as this team goes, we have amazing uplines and everyone's like, yes, let's do it. There's a bunch of people right now working harder than they have ever worked. And they're not going to keep a penny of it because they're building a business for the long haul. They're not worried about getting this quick paycheck right now. They're not worried about, like what's going to happen this week. I actually know one of them that has a chart that's keeping track of on this week's paycheck, this amount of money has to go back to all of these people. So there's some people who are going to get some really beautiful looking paychecks, but they're not going to keep it. Like that's not for them to keep. They have already taken that money and they've already committed it to pass on. And they've done that specifically to build their team. So some people would say that's crazy. Why would you work that hard? Why would you give all that money back? Why wouldn't you keep some for yourself? Yada, yada, yada. Hang on. But it's because there's a bigger picture. There's something bigger down the road. So for example, the Tidwells, had they walked away, they never would have done what they did. They never would have even had the opportunity to do what they did. The timing would never have even timed out. Had they stayed, let's say Lavelle never caught them and made them sit out for 6 months, they probably would have hit 200K at some point, but they wouldn't have hit it during the rank advance bonus. They probably wouldn't hit it at the same time, 2 days apart, where they both became 200K and they both got $200,000 rank advance bonuses, but they stuck in. And so these people on our team right now that are working so hard, they're so focused on building a team for the future, and they're not thinking about today or this Tuesday or whatever you want to call it. That's where the magic's going to happen. And so I'm all for, I love the fact that we have ranks and bonuses and all of that good stuff. And paychecks are wonderful, but sometimes you'll see people come into the business and they'll go gangbusters and then they disappear. And they go sell, they I don't know, maybe they were selling It Works and now they've come here and they've left here. And now they're selling Scentsy and they're going to leave Scentsy and they're going to go sell the little nail polish strips. And like, you see those people, they are just chasing a paycheck. They're chasing money. They're chasing quick money. They think they can get something great and fast and better at the next place. And heck, I don't know, maybe they're getting every company probably has something kind of like our VIP, like a quick start bonus. Maybe they're just going and getting the quick start bonuses. I don't know. But even that fast, quick money that they're getting in the manner that they're getting it, the reputation that they're getting with that money, like, oh, what's she selling now? Oh, what's she doing now? That's a trade-off. They might be making fast money, but they're not making a great reputation. Whereas I would rather see somebody grow slowly and reinvest and reinvest and reinvest and reinvest and actually build a team. So, and I know I've done this before, but I want to compare like what we do to someone that has a brick and mortar. So many people think that people who own a business are rich. I mean, Tom and I've heard it for years. I used to hear it when I had my little gift shop. Like, oh my gosh, it was a little gift shop, people. And be like, oh, she must be loaded. No, I was broke and in debt because every penny I had was in the store, like literally in the store. There's a reason I kept all this stuff so clean. That was mine. That was all I had. But when you look at somebody who's willing to get up early every day, go in and stock shelves and do all the things before they even open the door. And then they're willing to be there all day and they're going to hope and pray that somebody walks in. Then they've got to close and then they're not making money. And then, all of a sudden, a few months later, they're finally making money. No one gets to keep money. When you own a brick and mortar, you don't get to keep the money, especially the first 3 to 5 years. Nothing you make goes into your pocket. It all goes back into the business. So what we have here is an amazing opportunity because we're not paying rent. We're not paying employees. We're not paying for insurance. We're not doing all of that stuff. But we also need to still think like a business and reinvest what we're earning into our business. Now, there comes a time when you do need to make some money. Like, I don't think that every last penny needs to go, back into the business. Uncle Sam is going to require you to put 40 to 50 back in there if you don't want to pay taxes. But it's the people who make the bonuses and spend it and then they like walk away. That's a problem. It's people who will, push and push and push and get 5 new customers and then they got whatever they wanted and then they don't service the customers. They don't check on them. They don't, talk about auto ships. They don't talk about getting it for free. They don't ask them, how the, like, that's what you don't want. Like, you want to do the work for the big picture. And so the reason I'm talking about this is because I know, for me personally, just over all the years of owning different businesses and being a Lavelle promoter, it's the nitty gritty that is not exciting. It's not glamorous. It's not fun. It doesn't result in a shout out. It doesn't result in a trip. It doesn't result in a pretty shiny dress at some event, but it results in a hardcore, deep rooted business that will carry you through for a really long time. And that is what we're all here for. And I mean, from looking at the faces on my screen right now, or the names on my screen, I know you guys get it, but I want to make sure that's the mindset that you carry down to your team members. So when you hear somebody talking about, oh my gosh, I'm going to go get these new 5 customers and I'm going to hit that VIP, and then I'm going to get myself that, I don't know, whatever fancy purse is popular right now. I don't even know. I've also just reached an age where I just don't, that stuff doesn't fascinate me anymore. But try to connect with your team on a level so deep that you know what they really truly want to work for in life. And she's not, is Olivia on here? She's not on here. So Olivia and I had a lot of conversations over the last couple of days about what her life would look like if Lavelle became her full-time job. And, at first it's the surface stuff. It's the fun stuff. It's the money. But then when you really get down to it, it's being a mom who gets to be with her kids, who gets to go to the ballpark on time, who isn't rushing because they had a parent come pick up a kid late. She isn't rushing because she was so busy at her job that she didn't get to pack the bag. Like, if you really connect with your team about what is super duper important to them, and again, I shouldn't use her because she's not here, but I'm gonna use Olivia. If I said to Olivia, hey, if you want to push really hard this week, you can get a $200 bonus. She might work for that, but she might also be working at a million other things during the day. And like, with the $200, really, I don't know, would that be worth it? Hey, Olivia, if we do this over the next 6 months, you can be at every baseball game that your kid ever has. You can be home with your girls. When the other kids get on the school bus, you can read stories to your girls and go to the park. Like, that's the shit that will keep somebody in the grind, right? Is that not what people, that's what I go to work for. Yes, making money is fun, but there's a lot of ways to make money. But actually building a business that will carry on and give me and my family the opportunities and the dreams that I want. Like this, I mean, I want a vacation home. I actually won't be a vacation home because I don't plan on coming back. But Tom and I want to move. We have a location picked out, but I don't just want to move because I mean, if you know me, you know I love my nephews. And I want to be the aunt who can say, hey, here's your plane ticket. Here's the car. I'll see you when you get here. Like, if I'm going to move and relocate, it's not just to get away. It's going to be because I have such deep pockets that have grown over so many years that I can make sure that I don't miss my family because I can get them here. And it's not going to be a burden to them because I'll be able to help pay for all that stuff. Like, that's where you take the dream the next step further. When somebody says they want a vacation home, okay, great. What are you going to do in it? How often are you going to be there? Who's going to come see you? Can those people afford to come see you? Will they be able to, eat out? You have to cook. Like, really dig in with people's dreams because it's the deep, deep, deep dream that is what will keep you working for 6 months without a paycheck. There are going to be times in business where you are going to work so hard and you're not going to make a dime. You're not going to make a dime. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here to make a dime. We're here to make a difference, like a big difference. I would rather go 6 months and not make a dime and then turn around and have the opportunity finally hit to where you make so much that you can pay your kids college. Like, that's Justin said, what's up, Aunt Tammy? Listen, that needs to be a quote everywhere. Oh, which thing? I'm not sure. Oh, not make a dime. We're going to make a difference. It's true. Like, if we're chasing cash and we're chasing a quick paycheck, you won't be here long. You won't be here long at all. Tom and I have had conversations about this. He was, because, there are days I get frustrated. I'm like, how in the hell have I done this for almost 6 years? And this team is still not 200K. Like, what am I doing wrong? And he's like, are you frustrated? And I'm like, not frustrated for me. I'm like, I'm frustrated for the team. Like, what else, what can we do? What should we be doing? But I also know that there's just going to be times where we work and we work and we work and we build, and then it will happen. And people will come and people will go. But if you are willing to stick it out and you're willing to do the hard work, the nitty gritty, the unglamorous things, like I know a lot of people see like Maria and they're like, oh, wow, she travels and she does this and she looks so cute. She lived in a house trailer on their property for a really long time. She ran her business with all of her children in that house trailer while they were trying to build a home. She built that business surrounded, like literally at a, the kitchen tables inside house trailers, how like it sinks down at night and you lay the mattress on. That's what they lived in. So she did the nitty gritty to get to the fancy house. So if you do the nitty gritty and you only think of like the small immediate gratification type things, you're not going to get to the big picture. So I want you to think about really building your team for your dreams and for their dreams. Focus on their dreams, their deep-seated dreams, and that is what will push someone forward. So I am done with my part. If you guys, I'm trying to read the stuff real quick. Sorry to listen. Yeah, I think my favorite comment is that Justin wants an aunt, or said, "What's up, aunt?" What do you guys think? Like, does this make sense to you? Like those of you that are leaders, that you have people on your team, like this is how you can really connect to people. Are you connecting to your team this way? Have you had conversations like one-on-ones with what are they working for? Like, talk to me. Or type, whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm going to unmute myself, but keep my face off. No, it's so funny that you have kind of talked about this tonight because, I feel like we all get so down when we're not doing all the things, or we're not winning, we're not hitting all the, the promos that are thrown out or the qualifications that are thrown out to us. But it is the mindset of staying in that working, head down, blinders on type of zone, because your winning season and your building season are never at the same time, I don't feel like. So if you ever want to have a winning season, you're going to have to go through the shit. You're going to have to put your boots on and get down into the stuff that you don't want to do. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. And there are going to be times where we do question, is this worth it? Why am I doing this? But then one day it just all clicks and you see the big picture. And then you're like, aha, now I understand why my building season was different than my winning season.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah. And I agree. And sometimes too, when you're in that building season, it's weird. Like there will be times where I'm like working really, really hard and I'm super focused and I'm like doing all the things, but it's not even for me. It's because somebody on my team is going to hit a new rank. Like I'm in that for that. And so, yes, there's residual income from that. And yes, I get, my cut or whatever, but like, that's not even where my focus is. And so then there are going to be times where you're going to be growing for other people, but it's in that process that you're also going to grow. I have a quote here that I wanted to read real quick. It says, people are chasing cash, not happiness. When you chase money, you're going to lose. You're just going to. Even if you get the money, you're not going to be happy. And I think that is so important. I think that's important to think about when we're like chasing a volume number and we think that's going to make, how many of you, there are people on this team who are at the highest volume they've ever been at the entire time and they're not happy. You know why? Because it's not the next freaking rank. Oh my gosh, celebrate where you are. If this is the first time you've ever seen 6K, 7K, 8K, what? This is the first time you've ever seen $1,000. Celebrate that. Like, that's an accomplishment. Don't chase the number. Obviously, we're working in the background for this, but celebrate where you are and what that means to you. If you've got your heart set on being 12K, 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 well, why? When you wake up that day as a 12K, what's different? Will your breakfast taste different to you? Is someone going to magically appear and make your bed for you that never did that before? No, it's just a number. But if hitting 12K means that you are able to pay something off, or you're able to finally make an investment, like then then your breakfast will taste different to you that day. That number will mean something to you. So yeah, definitely make sure that you're focused on the big picture. Sarah says, I love this. I need to do more of this. This ties to, she has a team chat tomorrow. Nice. I'm going to try to get on that one tomorrow. So, okay. So I hope this helps you guys think about that in the big term, or the big picture of things. I know, I just know that it gets hard sometimes. It gets hard. You're like, nothing's happening. Nobody's responding. Bag it. Well, okay, if that's where you are, then that's where you have to ask yourself, what am I really here for? Sonia says, I think I would be happier if it were my team members building instead of someone place. I'm extremely happy for those place, but would like it to be my volume. Yes. And I get that because, I understand the mindset where people are like, oh, I have this, I've got this rank, but the majority of his place. And I get that. But at the same time, Lord, we're all just happy, right? I would love for somebody to put volume under me. But I get what you're saying. And so that just comes from still digging and keeping, anytime people have a team and nothing's coming from it, it's not a team. It's a group of happy thrivers who like to get good deals. And so it's just that's that constant, and it's not easy to do. Like I'm not saying, oh, we'll just go get a new promoter. I know they don't fall from the sky. Trust me, if they fell from the sky, I'd be out there right now with a bucket, like, hello. But I get what you're saying. And so if that would make you happier to help somebody actually grow on, like, someone and you love and that you sign up grow, then that's the mindset to go into with every day. Who can I find today that I could work with to help grow? Not who wants a $400 pack, not who wants free shipping. Like, actually focus on who do I know that I could work with that needs to grow or that would want to grow. And honestly, I just sort of say a prayer every day, like, send me the people I'm supposed to talk to, put the right words in my mouth. Because I don't ever, you all know, we never really know what's coming out of my mouth half the time. But I pray for that, like, send me the right people. And there are days that the right people aren't my people, but it's still who I was supposed to talk to. So keep that in mind. Like, just always be building. Please, no one ever, 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 nobody ever look at your cloud and be like, oh, I got a team. No, teams are forever. It's a moving target. A new person will come in, somebody will drop off, somebody will hit 12K, they'll disappear tomorrow. You just constantly have to keep looking for people. And that's what I say, like, that's the thing of being in the nitty gritty and doing the dirty work. It's finding new customers. And it's doing the reach outs. It's doing the posts. It's doing, it's putting yourself out there, because it's the happy customers that become promoters, that become, part of your team. So when you're feeling like, I wish I had someone on my team that I could build with, to get that one promoter, it might take you 10 customers. So I would, hardcore focus down on how many people am I talking to every day? How many people am I having conversations with every day? How many more people could I be having conversations with every day? What's another way I could be talking to people? What's, like, so when I say that, like, could I be talking to people outside of social media? Could I be talking to people on a different platform? Maybe instead of Facebook, maybe you could be talking to people on LinkedIn. Maybe you could be talking to people on Nextdoor, which I don't know if that's an appropriate place to have that conversation, but whatever, it's a different app. So it's doing that stuff every single day to get to where that happy part. Laura says, I feel like people will find you / come to you when it's, yeah. And I do think that people will come to you. I always say I always say that the student's ready, or the teacher appears when the student's ready. But here's the thing. When the student is ready, if you're not up at the desk, they can't find you. So that's why it's so important to always be doing what we do, the stories, the reach outs, the Facebook posts, the being at a local, the, doing an online event, like all the things that we do to stay the Thrive person in their life, so that when they are finally ready and they do come to you, that you're there. Like, you're not, down the hall peeking in on the, gym teacher when you're supposed to be at your desk ready to teach this person. Okay, anything else? Hopefully this helped. If you haven't got to listen to the Tidwells yet, it's really good. It's really good. I did not know either. Talk about Lavelle, or just even network marketing in general, being a ticket to a whole other life. He didn't say what or what, but he's a felon. He has a felony record, and they have, he's got kids, and there's nowhere else that's ever going to hire him where he can make the money that he's making with Lavelle, ever, anywhere. So it's just interesting how this is such an opportunity for so many people in so many ways. So, all right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I will put this up on the YouTube and you can share it with your teams. Bye.